Welcome to the Cadnam Cricket Club YouTube channel, and thank you for joining us for the first of our new highlights videos. Today's opposition are Phoenix CC, who visit us for our annual Sunday friendly. Having won the toss, they elected to bat, so let's see how they get on. Opening the bowling from the clubhouse end is Dan George, and while one sneaks past the keeper and slips for 4 early on, he strikes with just the 4th ball of the game, dismissing Chris Kirtley, who's caught behind just 4 off 4 balls. Joining him to open from the forest end is youngster Jordan, who keeps it tight early on to help keep pressure on the opposition.
Don't bother it.
Jordan's first chance comes just after a lovely 4-3 backward point. Ludwig Kovalevsky spoons one in the air down the leg side, but Dan George finds himself in no man's land and he can't take the catch. With Jordan keeping it tight, Michael Thomas makes a superb stop at slip, much to the frustration of Kovalevsky. But the opening batter manages to find some runs at the other end, and so we see our first bowling change, with John Goodchild replacing Dan at the clubhouse end. And at the forest end, Vishal Nirwan takes over from Jordan, dismissing Ludwig Kovalevsky almost immediately for 11 off 32 balls. His celebration was somewhat muted today, but I'm sure it won't be long before you're treated to the full Vishal experience when he takes a wicket. Vishal almost immediately strikes again, but this time John Goodchild can't take the catch, diving down to his right hand side. We couldn't put that much better than the second team captain sat near the camera. Andy Reid catches Will Price at long on for 7 off just 12 balls, and John Goodchild's in on the act as we reduce Phoenix to 47 for 3. However, that brings Christos Kontos to the wicket to join Dan Owens, and he shows off a slightly unorthodox defensive shot before he and Dan push the score along nicely for Phoenix to get them back on track. Following that good stop in the field you've just seen, Ben Dealey replaces John Goodchild at the clubhouse end. And from the forest end, it's Michael Thomas who's decided he's bowling spin today, apparently.
Feel.
Again, a little bit of added commentary from the second team skipper there. as Dan Owens chips one up, but Dan George fails to take the catch. Christos Kontos follows the lead, chipping one to point, but Jordan puts the catch down. We just cannot hold our chances at the moment. Another cry for a catch, but again another one goes down. This time Dan Owens chips it to Andy Reid. He doesn't hold this one, it goes through his hands and away for 4. But finally, the bit of luck we've been searching for. John Goodchild holds a catch at slip from Christos Kontos, who scores 22 off 36 balls, and he departs with Phoenix 106 for 4. Figure out where the stuff happens. I want to, so I'll know how far into the footage I need to look. And just 6 balls later, Jordan strikes. Back on at the clubhouse end, he dismisses Dan Owens for 44 off 73. Dan George with the catch, and no score added since the last wicket.
Oh God, don't tell me that. He's hurt himself. Is that why?
Well, with wickets having fallen at both ends, the skipper now brings on Vix Kitcher, but the Phoenix batsmen are looking to push the scoring rate along. As Phoenix start to pepper the boundary, bowling changes at both ends with Ben Taylor-Dealey and Vishal Noam back on brings about just a little bit of frustration from Phoenix's Andy Price.
So if you just get 2 wins, that's what you can do, innit? Ready? If we get 2 wins, that's what you can't control what people do, can you?
And that frustration brings about a great opportunity. Andy Price skies one off the bowling of Vishal Noam, but Dan George gets underneath it and can't hold the catch.
Good enough time. That's costly, isn't it?
Oh dear, maybe I shouldn't.
The beers yesterday.
And he charges £5 a pint. So it's
That's still cheap.
3 here for Andy Price brings up his 50 off 40 balls, and with just over 3 overs to go, Phoenix will be looking to push on now and get over 200 runs on the board.
whereas you go to watch cricket after the GS Bowl, 7. Oh, you get over for 4.
No,
He's got it.
He's got it. I'll stop Ben.
Well done, Ben. Yay!
That pushing on leads to a wicket for Vish, who bowls Dan Heritage for 45 off of 38.
Yes,
And Phoenix find themselves 212 for 6 with just 1 ball of the innings remaining.
Just come out swinging.
Next man out for Phoenix in his sparkling yellow helmet is Cadnam's own Steve Porter, playing on loan to them today as they only had 10 players for this match.
Still got
Despite Mike Thomas trying to convince him to block out the final ball, Ports takes a quick single and Phoenix finish their innings on 213 for 6.
Finito.
Refreshed from a short tea break, it's Dan George and Andy Reid who come to the wicket, looking to chase down the 213 runs needed for us to win the game. But just as they're trying to push things along, Dan George creams one off Ben Owen straight to Chris Kirtley, who holds a superb catch. Unfortunately, we can't show you that because of some poor camera work, but Dan goes for 8 runs off 13 balls with the score 21 for 1. And that brings out skipper Matt Watkinson at 3. He and Andy need to keep things moving along if we're to chase down that target.
He found the best fielder. Oh fuck.
Behind you.
I think with that flat batter. Nathan. Oh.
And
Oh, yeah.
they would run 2 channels essentially, which, but
Well, as the old saying goes, drinks bring wickets. Phoenix built the pressure nicely leading up to the break. Matt Watkinson takes a rash single off the first ball back after drinks, and Andy Reid's the victim. He's run out by Chris Kirtley, scoring 18 off of 43 balls, and we find ourselves 46 for 2. Next man in for us is the club's leading run scorer this season, Michael Thomas. He's certainly not known for taking his time with things, and with Steve Porter bowling, let's see how things go here. A show of respect off the first ball, but then Mike proceeds to absolutely demolish Porter, hitting the next 2 for a 6 and then a 4. Having started to push things along nicely again, Matt Watkinson plays all around a straight one from Dan Heritage. He goes for 31 off 47 and we find ourselves 72 for 3. Replacing Matt in the middle is Emily Townrow. With 140 still needed to win the game, she'll be looking to keep things moving nicely along with Mike. But with the score 99 for 4, Emily gets caught by Andy Price off the bowling of Arthur Kirtley. She scored just 5 off 25 balls. And next man out is John Goodchild. Unfazed by the lack of quick singles available, Mike Thomas keeps pushing forward towards his half century, but can he get there? Can he make it? Yes, he can. That flat 6 brings up Mike Thomas's half century off just 45 balls, much to the appreciation of onlooking spectators. But when John Goodchild gets bowled by James Addis in the 33rd over, it's starting to look a little bit of a tall order. He goes for 2 off 21 balls, with the score 143 for 5. Next in to bat is Ben Dealey, and if anybody can give it a hit, it'll be him. While it'd be nice to win, it is still Sunday cricket after all, and it's as much about getting people a game as it is about personal achievements. So Mike Thomas retires having hit 62 off 50 balls, including 5 fours and 5 massive sixes. What about it, Mike?
Go on.
Ben and Vix Kitcher keep pushing the scoreboard along nicely. There is still a chance we can do this. We just need one of them to hit some big boundaries now.
Go on. What a stop.
Got that.
What a stop.
Going into the final over, it was more about pride now than the win, as we were 40 runs short of the required target. Unfortunately, Ben was bowled on the second ball of the over. He went for 13 off of 19 balls, leaving us 172 for 6, and bringing young Jordan to the wicket for one last big swing. And so we close out our innings 176 for 6, losing the game by 37 runs. But there were some good performances on show and plenty of positives, including some really good showings from our youngsters. Next time round, we'll bring you highlights of our T20 friendly with Bahubali 11. See you then.